So regarding the significance of Jesus' death and resurrection, I don't know if this will be the last week or not, but so just another thing would be when it comes to Jesus' death and his resurrection, the significance behind it. Basically, when it comes to Jesus' death, by Jesus dying on the cross, the Son, Christ, he vindicated the Father. And then when it comes to Jesus' resurrection, the Father raising the Son from the dead, it was the Father vindicating the Son. And when I say vindication, I don't know, we don't use the word as much, but the word vindication just means like proving to be right. So, sometimes there are cases where, many times there are cases where when there's a trial going on, somebody claims that they're innocent, but many times people, don't believe that person. But then one day it's proven that that person was innocent, and they're vindicated. They're proven to have been true, or they're proven to have been right. Okay, so that's vindication. So how is it that the Son's death was a vindication of the Father, and how is it that the Son's resurrection, the Father raising the Son from the dead, was the Father vindicating the Son? Well, all throughout history, God the Father, who clearly said to Moses that I cannot just pass over a single sin, that I must be just, because he's just. This is not a rule that is over God. God, his own character, his own nature is righteous. He's just. And so he cannot just forgive people. He cannot just pass over their sins. But if you look all throughout history, God justifies, for example, specifically Abraham. Like in Genesis 15:6, it says, Abraham believed God, and God counted it to him as righteousness. God simply saw Abraham's faith, and God declared Abraham to be righteous. Okay, Abraham's a sinner. He sinned a lot. But God just looks at his faith, and he forgives him of all his sins and just declares him to be righteous. This doesn't make sense. This is not supposed to make sense if we know justice. How can God just pardon? But God did that throughout history. So for example, just another quick example, David. What do we know about David? His most lowest part of his life, remember when he pretty much, usually, it's called he committed adultery, but he pretty much raped Bathsheba, another man's wife. Just think about this, especially those of us who are husbands, we can all the more, whether you're a husband or a wife, but, you see how absolutely wicked this is. As we know, David, he rapes another man's wife, and then he kills the husband. But as we know, David was forgiven, and he is considered to be righteous. This never made any sense until Jesus' cross. Because at the cross, the Son would be taking David's sin, his rape, his murder, Abraham's lying, or his idolatry, all these sins of all of God's people, Christ took upon himself, and he received the full punishment by the Father, showing how God was able to forgive people and declare them to be righteous. So Jesus' death was a way of vindicating the Father, showing the whole world how God was able to forgive all those sins and have his people to be righteous. So the Son's death was a vindication of the Father. And you can read this in Romans 3, like verse 24, 5, 6. And then when it comes to the Son's resurrection, let me ask you, why did they kill Jesus? Why did they reject Jesus and kill him? Well, because Jesus claimed to be the Son of God, the Son of Man, the Messiah, right? That was the reason. He claimed to be who he is, but they did not believe him. They counted him to be a liar, a blasphemer, remember? He claimed to be equal with the Father. He's a blasphemer, he's a liar, and that's why he killed him. And they thought it was over. But on the third day, God the Father raises him from the dead, showing the whole world that he really is the Son of God. that he really accepted his perfect sacrifice. So by his resurrection, by the Father raising his Son from the dead, the Son was justified. He was vindicated. So it's an amazing thing between the Father and the Son, that the Son, through his excruciating death, justified, vindicated the Father, who was justifying, who was forgiving all his people all throughout history. And then the Father raising his Son from the dead, it was a way of the Father showing to the world, this is indeed my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.